We've given them that feeling that they are in charge, that they can handle these things. So when you give people the freedom to be creative, like on social media, to do the recruiting and be like, you know what, you got this. We've given you the tools. You got this. You can handle this.
So anytime there was like a problem with the client or something didn't go well, we implemented something to see how do we prevent this from happening in the future after fixing the original scenario, of course.
You realize later, like as you're going through it, you're like, man, that probably wasn't the best process, or why is onboarding, right? Because once we have the flow going, things run smooth.
Yeah. Welcome to the Limitless Tribe, where two badass women build businesses, chase dreams, and keep it way too real. I'm Kat.
And I'm Mel. We're the founders of Powerhouse Admins and the Limitless Tribe, and we're inviting you into the messy middle, the mindset shifts, and the CEO glow-ups we never see coming.
Now let's get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about 7 business lessons that we've learned throughout the time that we've owned our business. So the business that we have is called Powerhouse Admins. It's an agency of online business management support for small business owners who are growing their business. They're successful, but time is like their biggest resource, or sometimes they don't have the skill set to like really organize the back end. So we come in and just organize everything for them, create workflows, create structure, create organization, and just kind of follow behind them. As they're being visionaries, we create the structure like behind where they're going. So we've been in business now for a little bit over 3 years. And I think business is one of those things where you just never stop learning lessons, right?
Yes.
We continue to learn. But these are the 7 biggest ones or most influential that we've learned throughout our time here. We started in 2023, and then Mel came on at the end of 2024. So we're going to have 2 different perspectives on some of the things. So our first lesson is growth doesn't solve chaos, systems do. So sometimes people think they can outgrow all of the problems if they just get more clients, if they charge more money, if they sell more, if they make extra sales, like that'll solve everything. But usually it's temporary, because even if you have the income coming in, if you don't have the structure set up, everything just kind of crumbles and it can't support it. You'll start to have more problems. So that was something I come from that background in corporate of structure and being organized and having those processes. So I had that in mind from the beginning, but it's something that I've had to reapply, catch as we're having the problems, learn from the mistakes and things like that along the way, right? So in the beginning, every new client where there was a fire, that created like a new process for us. So anytime there was like a problem with the client or something didn't go well, we implemented something to see how do we prevent this from happening in the future after fixing the original scenario, of course, and making sure that this doesn't happen again. So we'd create a structure from that. And I always say like everything that we are today was built like along the way from the different clients, from what they needed, from problems that happened. We've kind of adapted to it as along the way, and we've grown immensely from that. So in the beginning, it was just me and one admin. I never, ever really honestly, and I know people say that in business, but I really never imagined that we would be this big, especially so fast. I thought at first I would just replace my job so that I can do something else. And then I got a couple, I thought, if I have like 5 admins and I manage them, that would be great. Yeah. So as we started to have 5, 6, I needed more support with managing them and because we help them throughout the process. So somebody needs to be with them for new tasks, to review things. So then I started working with my right hand, which was my first admin. She learned everything with me. And then she kind of became like a team lead, and she would help me manage some of the admins and I would manage others. And from there started that leadership layer. So we have a bunch of admins, 20 something to 30. And then we have about 7 to 8 leaders. So now that each leader manages 4 admins. At that time, it was just kind of added support as we needed it. And now we do that proactively. Yes. So we hire leaders ahead of time so that we can give them ample time to train, to shadow, and to just get comfortable with the role before they get their first team. Anything that we could automate, we did, because we do so much. If you go off memory or even a to-do list, things tend to fall through the cracks. So anything we could schedule or automate or create a workflow for, we did. We created SOPs, dashboards, training on trainings along the way. And then we realized that revenue can grow accidentally, right? Which is kind of what happened. Like we've just grown like feels by accident. But the company itself and the structure that we have behind the scenes, you could tell, like if you look at it, you could tell that it's intentional because there's so much, I think. Right?
I agree. Everything, you learn along the way so many things. And I think that's why like we're doing one thing for one client and then we're like, oh, but this client does this, the same. So we can, add this process to their stuff as well and kind of make this better for them. And then that client's like, oh, wow, thank you for doing this for us. But it's like, those little things that the clients appreciate, but we're like, oh, we could do this across the board. Now that's another thing that we added value with and we do. And just like, even our onboarding process, I think was one of them that you realized later, like as you're going through it, you're like, man, that probably wasn't the best process. Or why is onboarding, right? Because once we have the flow going, things run smooth.
Yeah.
And we're pretty good. Like, okay, process, we got it down, it's down pat, we're good here. But to get the client onboarded, there were some like mishaps and, we forgot to create that chat. We forgot to do this. So that was one of the things that was kind of broken on our end was our onboarding process. And we said, okay, well, how can we fix this? What do we need to do? So in order to fix it, we created a flow, an onboarding process. We have a workflow now, like with all the items, it's like a checklist. Okay, what do we need to do when we onboard a client? All the steps, make sure we do them. Did we do this? Go back, double check it. But it's those things that you realize as you're in the weeds, right? And going through it that you're like, oh, we need to do this. We need to add this one more thing. We need to fix this other thing.
And it's not a one-time fix.
No.
Because I feel like I was more structured and more organized from day one than a lot of people. Because a lot of people start with the chaos. But even then, like that onboarding.
You're still learning. Yes. It's something new each time.
Right. And then there's new problems as you grow. And then for example, the onboarding. We created a process and it's so much better than what we had before. But is this going to be our process forever? Like
there's still tweaks we can
upgrade
make.
It, So like everything is still something that we continue to create a new and better system for. Even after we have one, there will still be a better version.
And with all the AI and everything that comes out, there's always something new that we can add in, that we can make an automation for, that we can make a process better for. Every time we bring on a new admin, they bring on their own set of skills that we're like, oh, what do you know how to do? Yes. Okay, where can we implement that? Let's learn this, right? Yes. So each time, just new client, new admin, new automation, there's always something that we can do a little bit better each time that helps us out.
Yes, absolutely. We call that our collective brain.
Yes.
Because total, there's 46 of us. And that's another thing, like who we are today was built from like everybody that's come through, even people that haven't stayed. They either taught us something to not do again, or they taught us something new. We've learned it and now we share it across our teams. And that's a huge part of like our success, I think.
Correct.
So we're going to be asking you with each lesson a question that you can answer yourself if you're running a business already or starting, but we're going to answer them ourselves as well. So first question is, where are you trying to solve systems problems with more effort? So for us, something that we've put in a lot of effort into is our leadership team.
Yes.
But it's like scattered effort. We do one-on-ones, we do scattered, calls and support. We jump into what they're doing and help them if they're stuck, and we offer solutions. We are doing leadership trainings once a week, but it's not like organized into a system that works. So right now we're working on, and also like we said, we hire leaders in advance. So then they come on after training, like regular training, and they shadow our leaders, but each leader is going to be a little bit different. So are the teams. So right now we're creating a leadership training that they can go through where everybody goes through the same training. So we'll ensure that they know how to do the tasks that are crucial. And then we're ensure that they know how to do leadership steps that are going to be crucial to their role. And then they could shadow and practice and be reviewed by their co-leader. And then when they graduate from this program, we can more confidently put them in the role. Versus right now, it's a little bit on how they show up, how much effort they put in, the contributions, how fast are they picking up.
Exactly.
Vibe,
And we have leadership trainings, but there sometimes, not everyone participates, or we have to cancel for certain reasons, or this. So having this more structured process and plan and system that they can go to, we know that, okay, even if we have to like cancel a meeting, they still have to do this.
Yeah.
They're still learning. They're still moving a step forward each time. So
Yes.
it's definitely going to be a better process for them.
And once it's fully like done and created, my plan is for it to be something you follow on your own. You would still check in with people for the tasks that you need, but it's not like I need to teach this whole program every time.
Yeah.
We'll jump in as needed, but they have like a guidance and support, and it'll feel more comfortable for them
Yeah.
when they start.
Exactly. I think that's a good one. So lesson 2, delegation is not dumping. So training leaders. We have done so much to try to train leaders, I think. And we created a training program, and we would have these, weekly calls, but then no one's participating, and we're asking questions, and it's like pulling teeth to get information out of people. And then they do participate, but then we have to cancel a meeting because we don't, there's a million things going on, and you're running a business while, everything is happening, and you're bringing on new clients, and now this client has to start, so the meeting's in the way, and it's just a lot of things happening at once. So it's hard to have that structured training that we really want to implement for our team when there's so much happening at the same time. So that program that Cathy was talking about, that portal where we're putting it, where they can go in and have this guided structure where they can do it at their own pace, make sure that everything's getting done, have that support, has been I think that's going to be such a big thing for our team.
Even without the structure. So this is where we're putting in all the effort without the structure. But the delegation piece is, if we didn't have the amazing leaders that we do, we have like 20 teams. There's no way me and Mel could manage the 20 teams.
Yes. Exactly. So it would be impossible. So having that piece is going to be amazing. But exactly like Cathy said, like there's so many things that we have to do behind the scenes already all day. We have so many teams on board. So we have these, amazing leaders that we really entrust with getting things done, with getting the work done, with overseeing all the admins, making sure that their teams are running smoothly, coming to us when there's a fire, but knowing how to handle the issues themselves when there are things that they can handle. Like they don't have to, like not everything has to be a Cathy and Mel problem to solve, right? They have so many things that they already know the answer to. They know how the workarounds. They know what they need to do. So they just come to us and they're like, hey, we're doing this, or hey, we started this process. So we know that they have the foundation to do it themselves. And that's why this new training program is going to give those new leaders the same type of foundation, where we feel like, okay, they can do this. We don't have to worry so much about all of those pieces. And the business is still going to be secure. We've, also created all these new departments. So social media is not something that Cathy and I need to do ourselves, right? We do the content, but we have a team that takes it, runs with it. They also tell us what we need to do. So they provide our structure for us.
Which is like a full-time job.
It really is. And they are amazing. So they send us, our to-do list of, hey, this is all the content we want you guys to create this week. Get it to us by this deadline. Make sure that these things are done. If we had to sit back and do that ourselves, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't get done.
Yeah, which is what was happening before there was a social media team.
It would be so slow.
It's one of those like wish list items that's on your to-do list that then you move on to the next day and the next day and the next day. And
exactly. It's impossible. There's just so much happening. Recruiting, we have a whole recruitment team. They handle everything from putting out the ads for recruitment to hiring, interviews, hiring, like everything. And they let us know, like, we have these really great candidates, but we had these other ones, they weren't so good, so we pushed them to the side. Don't worry about those. Another thing that if Cathy and I were to have to do, that's going to take up so much of our time. Like, there's so many little things that there's no way that you can run a whole business. You could, but your business is going to fail. Like, there's no way that you could get to where you want to be, right? Or it's going to take super long to get there. Or exactly, you have to stay really small because there's just so many different things to happen. And our training, the the recruitment, the training. They train the admins as they come in, make sure that they're ready. We just check in. Hey, how's the training going? Oh, this person isn't meeting the requirement. Okay, well, do you think it's time to let them go? Fine. Oh, this person's excelling. You think they can be a leader? Great. Let's put them in the leadership training. Those are all things that happen behind the scenes, and we can kind of, make sure that our clients are doing well, bring on new clients, and it gives us the freedom to do those other higher level things while they manage the day to day. And then we can also coach. So that's where our coaching comes into play, right? We make sure that we're coaching our leaders who are then coaching the admins. But we've also been able to put in like senior leaders. Like there's so many things that we've been able to create because we want this hierarchy. We want this to become something where it can continue to grow and be massive without us having to do everything, because it's just not possible.
Yeah. So when I started, I would do the recruiting and I would do the interviews. And then the training, obviously I did as well because I was first. But I was smart enough to record it, which again is more advanced than some people I've seen. Like I would record them, but they were long trainings, they were scattered, they were with somebody else where I was training them, but I just needed to duplicate myself where I could have them watch those trainings. And then along the way, it became where we were hiring so consistently, where we needed that dedicated trainer, and it became like a 2-week training with the core of a lot of what we do. And now that's just like something that just happens without us, which is amazing.
It is amazing.
Yes, and the recruiting, same thing. Like now, like you said, the next step for me would be that our recruiter gets so skilled at filtering the people and knowing who's a right fit and who's not, that we don't need to listen to interviews unless there's an iffy person.
Exactly.
So it would minimize even the ones we listen to now.
And one of the things I think I love so much about our team is they treat it like if it's theirs. Like they love it, right? I think it's because we've given them that feeling that they are in charge, that they can handle these things. So when you give people the freedom to be creative, like on social media, to do the recruiting and be like, you know what, you got this. We've given you the tools. You got this. You can handle this. They feel empowered to then want to bring their A game to everything, right? And I think that makes me feel good, like looking at them and going, we have such a good team that we can step back and allow them the freedom to do these things.
Yes, and honestly, when you do, you see so much more from people than when you try to control everything.
Yeah.
So I think people with delegation, it's 2 things. Sometimes they think that nobody can do it like them and they are too scared of letting it go because they don't trust people. And other times they think that that's like you said, delegation is dumping, right? It's not dumping, but they think it is. Like if they think you're just passing on your tasks and then that isn't good, or like they feel bad, but it's not like you're passing on your tasks and you're doing nothing. You're freeing up that time to do higher level work that then feeds into this business that then helps them in the long run. So I think really changing the mindset around delegation is first.
Yes.
And the majority of people, especially younger people, love to be part of something. They don't want to just come and not be connected to wherever they're working and not contribute. Like that doesn't feel engaging to them. And a lot of people quit when it's like that. So delegating requires you to train them and requires you to trust them. And then they connect more to the business that you have and to your vision. And they're going to bring so much more to your business than if you don't do this, right? So it's a win-win for everyone. And the whole, they're not going to do it as good as I do. It's possible.
Yeah, it's a huge possibility.
But I can't manage 20 teams. So either I manage 3 to 4 really, really well and I just stay at that level, or I let go of some of it and pass that on through trainings little by little and let go of some stuff. Sometimes let go of a little bit of the quality in the beginning to be able to grow.
Yeah. And also that's when those check-ins come in, right? Like, maybe they're not doing something that you're like, man, we should be doing that. But you realize that in those trainings, you ask questions, you coach, you say, hey, what's going on here? I noticed this, whatever. And then you say, okay, well, what do you think that we can do here? And you kind of coach them so that, well, now they are doing what you think that should be done. Yeah. And you get them to that level. So it just helps you out all around. But Okay, so what are you still holding on to because it feels faster to do it yourself?
So I challenge you guys on this one because this is huge for so many people, leaders all the way up until entrepreneurs. For me, I think I'm in that mindset of like growing out of it. I want to work on just the business. I want to get to a point where I don't have teams maybe, right? And maybe I just work with Mel and 2 other high level people, and then I work on the clients, on marketing, on that kind of thing. So a next step for us, for example, is something I really want this year is a dedicated admin.
Yes.
For like creating a PowerPoint. You know, we have somebody right now that's kind of cleaning out our emails and organizing it and lets us know if there's something urgent.
Job.
Yes. And that alone has been like a big like weight off our shoulders, right? You know,
been.
We have a trip coming up that we want to do with the team maybe next year. So that person will take on that planning. So that's somewhere where I'm like, do we hire the person now? Do we hire them part-time? Do we pick someone we have? But that's something that is going to happen this year. And I've already started building the list of what things we can delegate to them. So as there's tasks that I'm doing and I'm like, this really could be something someone else can do, I go back to the list and I add it. Because when you go to hire someone, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, what do I need them for?
Yeah. Sometimes people hire us as an admin and they're not sure what to give us. They just know they need us, but they don't even know what to give us. So I always recommend that to people. Like, what tasks do you do that you don't love, that you'd love to pass on? Or what tasks take up a lot of your time but can be done by someone else?
But then a lot of times we forget to do that for ourselves. So that's what we're learning to do now too.
Yeah. I've been building the list. It's just pulling the trigger with like hiring a person. So that's kind of where we're at.
But just having someone manage my emails right now is like fun. I'm like, oh, this is good. This feels good. Let me know what's important and what I need to get back to.
Yes. So this is a huge one, and it's something that I was working on as an individual, but then when it came to business, I feel like all of the things that you might be working on in your personal life, when you're in business, there's like a spotlight on them, right?
Yes.
So this lesson number 3 is know your worth. Your worth will be challenged, I feel like practically on a daily basis.
Every day, every minute of every day.
Yes. And as we get more tenured, more structured, learn from our experiences, it becomes a little bit easier. But in the beginning, I'm brand new. I don't have as many clients. You know, I'm just grateful somebody would hire me. And I didn't realize the worth that I brought. The pricing we have has been the pricing since the beginning. But sometimes we've discounted the pricing if somebody pushed a little bit too hard or if we were in a situation where we really needed that client at that time. So that's something where we're getting away from that. Like no more discounting.
Yeah. And I remember in the beginning, like even when I wasn't a part of the business yet, Cathy would, talk to us or her friends and she'd be like, I don't know, do you think I'm charging too much? Am I charging too little?
Oh, yes.
And she was so back and forth on it, and she was like, it was a constant conversation. And it's because you know your value, but at the same time you're like, is it right? Is it not? And then because people, right, clients make you question it. So then you start questioning, is this really, and then we would be like, stick with it, you're fine, don't worry. And I'm like chat GPTing like for her, like what, or Googling at the time, like what is the right price for this and that, and then I'm like, I think you're good, I don't know, maybe. So it was
rough.
Yeah.
Every time I had to say the price, I'm like, and then
I remember.
And sometimes I would tell them the price, even when I didn't have a lot of clients in the beginning, right? I would tell them the price. And they would be like, oh, I can't do that, or that's too much. And I would, or can you go do a discount? And I would be like, no, unfortunately, I can't. Like, that's our price. And I would stick to it knowing I may lose this client. But like almost every time, if not every time, there might be one off where they didn't. But almost every time they'd be like, okay, let's do it. And I'm like, to myself, I'm like, you see, you just have to stick with the pricing.
Exactly.
Just believe in your pricing. So, you came up with that pricing for a reason. And on our end, especially now, right? Like in the beginning, we were already doing a lot, but now we're really doing a lot because we've had 3 years of growth. From that point to today is like night and day. Be careful with discounting yourself, because that's what you're doing when you're discounting your prices or underpricing. Sometimes you start with your pricing too low, and you might need to bring up your pricing, and you may lose some clients along the way, but those are not the clients that you need to keep.
And I think that's one of the things that we, like you said, we're getting better at it. Is it perfect? No. Sometimes we still are like, wait, should we, like this client is saying, or this potential client came back and they said that they can't, and we're like, no, we're sticking with it. we know that we are worth it. We know that our team is worth it. We know what we bring to the table. But it is hard. It is hard because you want the win of getting the client, but at the same time, you're like, you get upset. I get upset. I know that I get upset when they're like, when they come back with a counter, I'm like, this isn't a counter thing. Like, you're not countering. We are not going lower. This is our price. So even when it's hard, you have to have those boundaries and you have to stick to them. You have to say, no, this is our pricing. We know why. And, we are starting to get better at giving the reasons. Like, this is all the things that we bring to the table and what we're giving to you.
If anything, this is a deal.
Exactly. So
it's not gonna be, I feel like, at least for us, like it takes a long time for it not to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But you still hold the boundary, like you were saying.
Yes.
Like, even though it's not awkward, we're gonna hold it. And that's where it starts. And eventually I have hopes that I'm just gonna not feel awkward, but start with the boundary first.
And I think the other thing we've gotten better at is saying, it's okay if we don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, you really want the win. So you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe. And now we're just like, if they decide not to come with us, it wasn't meant to be. They're not ready for what we can bring to the table.
Yes, I think that too. Like, we're not for every client. And if that's not where you're at with your business, that's okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that we need to adapt to where you are.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just not the right timing.
Exactly. So if you don't value your expertise, neither will your customer.
Yes. And one more thing, which you may have had the situation if you have a business, sometimes you need to fire a customer.
Oh, yeah.
So if it's somebody who's disrespectful, it's draining you, maybe not the right fit or whatever, or there's disrespect, whatever is going on, this is your business. You get to do that call. Yeah. I remember when Mel came on, it's about to add a salary that we didn't have before. And right at that time, I had it with a client. Like, that's it. And it was just too
completely
much.
Disrespectful person, though, because Cathy would tell me what was going on and I'd be like, what? No, that is terrible. And it was giving her like anxiety. Yes. She was stressed. I'm like, oh no.
And I think to myself, like, as much as I needed that money, it wasn't worth what it was causing me and how much it was having me hate this business and having to deal with that person. And it was a $4,000 a month client. And I didn't even have really the backup for it. I just knew I couldn't continue. And that was going to clear up energy and space for me. And we did. We actually that client ended up staying, but at a smaller scale and changed completely. And we were fine. It hit us for a little bit and then we recovered. But the relief was like huge. Think about your business. Where are you undercharging because you're measuring effort instead of value? So for us, this is actually exactly where we're at. So we charge per hour because in a way, for me, that helps me hold the boundary. Because if I don't have a boundary, then I will just work until the tasks are done. And if you send me too many tasks, I will work 60 hours.
Yeah, we have the issue of, okay, well, where can we fit something else in? And we're already doing a million things.
Yes. So the hour thing was helpful. But also one of the things that happened to us is sometimes we felt like we weren't doing enough, which still was so much more than others did, that we gave free hours or the client needed more things and we added hours to complete them versus saying, hey, there's not enough time in the day to complete all 20 tasks. We can do these 15 and prioritize these 15 and the next 5 that we feel aren't priority could be moved to the next day. Do those feel like the 15 that are priority to you? Yes? Okay. But I feel like we gave away so many free hours.
Yes.
So now we're at the point where the value that we bring is a lot more than what is normal for those hours that we charge for. So we're kind of in that transition phase of figuring out, do we continue to charge per hour? Do we charge by project? Do we charge by task? How do we want to handle that? So that's something that you may need to look at as well.
I was also going to mention, and sometimes you just have to, like, I think we're learning to be more ballsy, which is funny because I think balls are weak.
I was just thinking, I was like,
right? So I don't think that's the way I really want to word it. Balls are weak because you hit them and they fall apart. So I don't know. But we're learning to be, we need another term for that. But we're learning to be stronger with our clients because even our clients, we love our clients and we want our clients to be happy with our service and we want them to stick with us and we want all the things. But sometimes they don't pay. And then what? Then we're still doing work that we're not getting paid for. So we're learning to also speak up more. Yeah. Oh, you haven't made a payment. We're missing your payment. We're on the 3rd week. I'm sorry, we have to pause services until we catch up. Yeah. And that's been really, that's not something that's easy for us because we're thinking about their business. we're thinking about how us pausing is going to affect their business and how that, that might hurt them. But at the same time, they're hurting us too. So we need to have that boundary. We need to have that respect for ourselves and say, you know what, this is what just has to happen in order for us to continue working with you. So it's not easy. These aren't easy decisions to make, I feel like, as business owners. And I'm not sure if it's just a female thing, like because we are more emotional and we feel like we're very involved in their business as well and we want them to succeed. I don't know if men have the same issue, to be honest with you, about these things, but I feel like, it's harder for us to push back and say, you know what, we can't continue working right now. We have to pause and see where that goes. But we're getting better at it.
And think of it like in personal, even if you're in relationships, if you don't know your worth, it's going to affect how that person treats you. Like they automatically read that and they treat you lesser because you're not valuing yourself. When you value yourself, the person is either going to leave or step up to that. So in business, it's the same thing.
Yes. So lesson 4, cash flow creates freedom, revenue creates excitement. So I think now, right, before we were at the point where we needed clients, we needed to continue growing, we needed that revenue to continue coming in. Obviously, we still do, who doesn't need revenue, but now we're looking at it more as we need our bank accounts to continue growing and like savings and building those reserves and thinking about the long term and not just the now. And that's where the excitement really comes in, because like Cathy was mentioning, so trips, right? We have a trip that we want to go on with our team. We're planning for hopefully 2027 or 2028. I think it's going to be 2028. Possibly. Probably. But meeting them in Thailand is like one of the ideas that we're having. But in order to do that, right, we need to make sure that we have those reserves, that we're growing, that we have the cash flow to do that. But that's exciting. Those are the exciting parts of this business, right? But in order to do that, we also have to change some of the things that we do internally in how we charge our clients, how we pay our admins. So right now we charge our clients, we work for them the week, they pay that end of the week. But now we're thinking, okay, how is this, that can affect us, right? Because if they don't,
affected us.
It has affected us, right? Because if they don't pay, now we've worked and we work for free. So even though in our contracts it says, specific language around this, it's a contract and some people don't abide by them. So then it's like, okay, well now we need to change that. We need to pay and we need to charge in advance for the work that we're going to do. Why? Because number one, we're worth it. And that's just how business is. Like we're not going to work for free for anyone. It's a give and take.
We're gonna, I feel like we know for sure we're gonna deliver.
Exactly.
Like we wouldn't take your money and not deliver it. But
exactly.
We don't always know the intention of the client, and they have, not all of them, but some of them have done that.
Yes. I would like to say the majority of our clients are amazing, but there's always that, one or two that get by and you're like, oh, why did I, how did I trust this? Or why did I do this?
And I think it's part of business, but also it's your job to minimize it and to learn from it, and what guardrails can you put and things like that to prevent that. And when I started the business, I felt I was really new, and I feel like I didn't have I think I did have the trust because I knew a lot of people in the industry, but I didn't feel that way, I guess. So I thought it would be weird to charge people in advance, because how do they know that I'm going to deliver the work?
Yeah.
But now we are in a whole different place.
Yeah, now we have so many people, we work basically off of referrals, right? All our clients. So if you're referring us to someone, it's because obviously you know the value in our work, you know how well we do. So there's really no reason for that mentality now. But it's all a part about learning and growing, right? Like new to being an entrepreneur, new to business, you're like, oh, how is someone going to trust me to deliver this? And how about if I don't? But now we don't have that worry. But it's also like how we pay our admins, the same thing. We pay our admins the same way we charge our clients. Like they work for the week, we pay them at the end of the week. How that bites us in the butt? Well, sometimes we have admins that quit out of nowhere and they leave us in a spot where now we don't have anyone to cover that team and we have to pull a leader in to take over the work, and we're trying to strategize. And I don't think that's fair, because we really do treat our admins really well. We try to do what's best for them. So instead, we're switching to paying them 1 week behind.
And also, sometimes the clients are late, right? Because of their business or whatever reason, but our pay to our admins are never late.
Exactly.
So then
100%.
This week, if they pay us 2 weeks late, Now we're 2 weeks into the pay to the admin, and they're,
Yeah, but we always make sure to pay our admins
Yeah.
on time.
But this will give us a little more wiggle room.
Exactly. And even with doing that, it's so funny because I think we love our team. We want to do what's best for them. So it's like, okay, how do we switch this in the most convenient way for them where it doesn't affect their life so much? How do we handle it? So it's like we're trying to do it slowly, okay, and only take out 10% or 25%. And it's such, so crazy. But
it took us 5 months of discussing it after our accountant told us we needed to. He's like, you just do it. It's normal.
And we're like,
I don't know.
We don't want to hurt them.
It took us 5 months of discussing. Then we announced it. Then we gave 60 to 90 days, advance notice, and we're going to split it into like 2 to 4 payments. Like, it was a whole ordeal because we do want to do the right thing by them, but it is a necessary move.
Yeah. So all a part of learning and growing in business.
Yes. So another part with the revenue versus bottom line, right? I've always been a saver, and I think that's another advantage we have of being single moms, now business owners, because the experience I had with business owners before is they start very young, generally as an entrepreneur. So they fly by the seat of their pants, like they say. Like, they don't know what they're paying for, where they're paying it. Like, we are like very organized with our stuff. Like, we know exactly what we're paying for. Is that worth it? Do we need it? Is there a better version? How do we save a little bit with this program?
Is there a free version of that?
Yes. We need to upgrade. So we are very scrappy, right?
Yes.
But also, I feel like a really big sense of responsibility for the team that we have. Like, we have a big team. We're close to getting to 50. So if we don't secure this business and make sure that it is stable, that we have the reserves to carry us no matter what happens, then we're like not taking care of them, they depend on us for their jobs and for the stability. And I don't, if they leave, it's because of them, but I don't want them to ever have to worry about their jobs because we didn't protect this business. And actually, one of my first hires, he was like one of my first 5, maybe. He's still a leader today. I remember when we hired him, he told me that his previous job, he worked for a credit repair company directly with the owner. It was a smaller company, and it closed down, and I don't remember the details, but he mentioned like there was a lot of things she wasn't doing well or like the right way for business, and he could see like the business kind of closing, and it ended up closing, and that's where he was looking for another job. So when I think of things like this and like the reserves and being scrappy, I think of like being here permanently.
Yeah.
And being safe for, like a political thing, a COVID thing, like a loss of clients, whatever it is, knowing that we're protected against it.
Yeah. Which brings us into, if sales stop for 30 days, how confident would you feel?
So think about the revenue that comes in for 30 days. If that stopped, do you have the reserves to cover that? So for us, it's a kind of a different type of business. It's not something like one-off sales that could stop like that. It would be very weird for it to just stop to 0. So right now, we're building the reserves to cover it. I would like to cover the 30 days like if it was at 0.
Yeah.
Even though that's probably not likely for us, but there are loss of clients. We can do some reduction of hours with the team, but I wouldn't want to put them at 0 because the goal is to keep them hired. So
yeah, that's the other thing. Like, if we lose a client that this admin is working for any reason, we keep the admin if they were good. Like, we don't want to just let go of the admin because then we have to go through the whole hiring process again. And how about if, that admin now has another job and then we can't get them back? Like, we put a lot of work and effort into training this person. So no matter what, we're going to keep that person. They're going to continue to get paid, even if we're not getting paid.
Yeah. And we have them learn and shadow until we get them their new pair. So I would challenge you to think about, if you have any reserves right now, how long could they cover you for? Mm-hmm. Don't freak out, but know your base, and then set the goal of 30 days. And how much money do you need to cover you for 30 days? Work towards building that, and then determine what's your 3-month number. Get there, and then that's probably a good number, but definitely start with the 30 days.
Yeah.
So lesson 5, this has been a huge one. A couple times, and we had an episode recently about it. We'll post the episode number here below so you guys can go listen to the whole tea of the story. But the lesson is trust people but build protections. So
great lesson.
I'm still a trustworthy person. I think I'm not surprised when people do bad things, but I trust them until they give me a reason not to generally. But it's a one-time thing. Like I may get screwed over multiple times, but not by the same person. Like one time and that's it. We've had people that like a year ago or a little over a year ago, we had an admin that her and the admin let the client close out with us and then went to work with him on the side while still working with us. And I think they were in that in-between period that you talked about where we were still paying them to stay with us while we found them another match, but they're working with the client and we can see what they're doing and they used our Canva to do the work. So we noticed it pretty quickly and we let them both go. With that lesson, I learned a lot of strength in myself to know that losing one person isn't going to break me. Losing a client isn't going to break me. That's a shit client I don't need. Same with the admins. But how do I protect myself from this in the future, right? And after that, we've created contracts. So what's funny about, like we've talked about this, it's a continuous growth, right? I started with some structure, but it's like more, and then we build on it. So
because the lessons are what teach you what you need to do next.
Yes.
Like, oh, lesson learned, not going to have that happen to me again.
So even with the contract, how many versions of contracts?
Exactly, because you then learn a new lesson and you're like, need to add that.
Yes.
Let's add another line to this thing.
Yes. So then recently it kind of happened again, and leader and an admin. And this time, of all the people that have come through our business and either they've been fired or they've left, nobody has caused damage until this person or two people. They deleted files that they were paid to do. So the next lesson with the contract is we did have a contract in place, but the problem is that client that they were with was a tenured client and we implemented the contracts going forward and not to our previous clients.
Yep. So lesson learned. Now we have to go back and our former, not our former clients, our grandfathered in clients will also be getting contracts because there's going to be new terms of engagement that are going out.
Yes. Is it awkward? Yes. Is it nerve-wracking? Yes. Does it need to be done? Yes. So that's like that lesson that we've learned there. We definitely need the contract with the client in place as well. And then we created some security protocol that helps us grow. And this is something that we've been needing to do. It's been kind of on my to-do list, but now we've actually implemented and you can go into that.
So, we've created safeguards for us and for our business. So Bitwarden, making sure that our passwords are secure, that they're in a secure area, that if someone leaves, we can go in, we can remove their access, we can change all the passwords, make sure that, they don't have access to change anything, delete anything. We've created tighter contracts with not just with our clients, but with our admins, just across the board. We want to make sure that our clients that have been grandfathered in still get, contracts sent to them, that our admins have contracts with specific language in there. So that was another lesson. And a workspace where if they were to delete something, there is a backup. There's no way that they can just delete it and that we wouldn't either know or wouldn't have a way to get it back. Because that was, something that was really important to us, especially because these are our clients. This is the work that we do for them. And the admins, again, really, really shitty on their part because they were paid to do this work. And it's just not right. I don't know.
And we've got it back up. We've already rebuilt the stuff pretty quickly, but it's just unnecessary extra work that we don't need to do in the future.
Exactly. So hope is not a strategy. Protection is. So making sure that your business is protected across the board to prevent these things. And again, it's all learning, right? Because maybe you would know to do this right from the start, but if the issue didn't happen, then the lesson wouldn't be learned to protect yourself.
Yes, and something that I think about too that is a win for us is it's better that this happens to us now at the level we're at, 40 to 50 people, our clients, versus when we're at, double the size, where then the damage might be double the size of the damage. So we're learning the lesson early so that we can implement it going forward, and it's going to save us a lot of headaches in the future. So question for you. What would happen tomorrow? Well, two questions. What would happen tomorrow if one of your team members left in general? And what would happen tomorrow if your most trusted person left?
Yeah, and I think that's where we're lucky, where if one of our team members were to leave, we have so many processes in place. We have so many people that know the system that we can just grab a leader, grab an admin, take it, plug and play, let's go, let's keep moving forward, where it wouldn't destroy us.
Yeah. So it's for everybody's protection, right? So if the admin is out sick, if they need vacation time, somebody else needs to know what they do and how to do it so they can take over for the work for the client. So it benefits them as well. But on our side of things, there's also like that protection that we have our SOPs and our structures and everything internally, and we own it, so that can be passed on to somebody else if needed.
And this protects us where like we don't have to go to the client and say, oh, we don't have an admin for you, so you don't have to pay us for the week, and we're just going to pause until we get some. No, their business continues, and they don't even feel it. They have no clue what happened.
Yes.
They just see a new person there.
Yes. So actually for this thing, we also, that's another reason why we hire in advance. Mm-hmm. So for admins, like right now, I think we have like maybe 3 or 4 people floating, and we have 3 in training, I think. So now we'll be a little bit stacked. So we might wait like a week or 2. But these admins, if somebody goes, if somebody needs to be replaced, if we get a new client, that's where these admins come in. If somebody calls out sick, we have like the backup. So it kind of creates that cushion, so there's no downtime for us.
Yeah. So lesson 6, evolution is not optional. We all know that the world changes constantly, right? There's so many new developments that keep happening. AI is taking over the world, right? You can chat GPT, you can Claude, you can Gemini, you can do all the things. It can create you PowerPoints and presentations and guides and all sorts of things that you need for your business. So we need to roll with the punches, right? Because if you don't, you're going to be left behind. And that's one of the things that we want to make sure does not happen to us. And we've seen it happen in other businesses. I know I've seen it happen. I know that I've worked for businesses where they put all their eggs in one basket. And then when someone says, oh, we can't do this anymore. Well, now what do? You have no business. Where are you going? Because you gambled all on this one thing, and you have to learn how to pivot. So our biggest thing is making sure that we learn to pivot quickly, and we do it before time, ahead of time. So like our leadership programs, making sure that we have those in place, that when the leaders come on, they're able to learn, grow with us. And once we have new clients, we can put those clients with these new leaders, and they can take it on. And we're not like scrambling. Where do we put them? Who do we go with? We don't have anybody. No, we have leaders that are ready to go. We have admins in reserve that are ready to go. Security upgrades, like we talked about, making sure that our stuff is secure so that we don't lose any client files, so that people can't just go in and delete stuff, so that we're protected at all times and for all costs. New departments. I know one of the things that we're one of the things that we're working on now is having that hierarchy grow even more. So before it was, just an admin, then it became leaders and admins. Now it's senior leaders and admins. So Cathy and our oversight can be even higher level. Okay, we meet with the senior leaders meet with the leaders meet with the admins. And then that will really help free us up so that we could continue to grow this business, continue to evolve, find out new things that we need to do. Is there another business that we want to start? How can we start that? It just gives us that freedom to continue to have those visions. And AI, higher level integrations. There's so many things going on with AI that we learn every day, that our team is learning, that our team brings to us, and they're like, they show us a dashboard. I'm like, where did that come from? How did you do that? And they're like, oh, just throw it into Claude. And I'm like, what? Then they bring it to us, and they create portals, and I'm like, how did you do that? They're learning to code. It's amazing the amount of things that they can do, but what does that do? All of those things that they're learning through all this AI helps us bring these things to our clients, and that helps our clients grow. Then our clients refer us to more clients. So we're constantly evolving because our admins are evolving, because the world is evolving.
Yes. So I've always had it, I've always learned the stories, and you may have heard them depending on your age or just knowing history, right? Names like Blockbuster, Hollywood Videos, Radio Shack, Circuit City. Like, I know that these places, Nokia, I know they're still around, but like that phone department just wasn't it. So I know that they were around, and then they didn't keep up with the times, and they were no longer here. And I've always known that. But recently I heard someone say that every business is going to become obsolete at some moment, all of them. Mm-hmm. So you can stay in business forever, but you can't stay in business forever with the same exact business you started with. You need to be able to evolve. Yeah. So that's where we're at now. Like, we want to make sure that we use AI a lot, but I want to get to the higher level AI where we have like bots, where we have people that are working, that are AI bots doing the work, right? Not everything that we do, because it can't be done, or at least I think.
I think so too. You need that person experience.
But a lot of it, and then not just using it within our business, but maybe having that be another department for us, where we help businesses integrate AI into their businesses and create more efficiency and more execution on their tasks and things like that. So how do we leverage it, not just use it? And then staying relevant, like with new services, we have this one income stream, which is our clients, but that's where we're now adding like new project-based work, where maybe you're not ready to be a client, but you need a Monday.com build, or you need, email management only, or you need little things. Like, how do we offer these services to people so that we can have like another stream of income within our same business? So that's kind of where we're at now. And businesses rarely die from one big mistake, right? They usually die from a bunch of little mistakes that they make along the way, and they're refusing to fix and evolve from.
Correct. So what worked 3 years ago that you're still relying on today?
Something that worked for us a lot 3 years ago that we're still doing today is not to the same level. We've gotten better and more advanced in it, but I think 3 years ago, everything lived in Excel. Now we use Monday a lot, but we still use Excel for some things. We do some reporting there, and the reporting has gotten faster and more automated, but I think the next evolution is going to be a dashboard that is easier to view, that is more easily accessible. It's just easier to read altogether. And then the second one is what we were talking about earlier, about how we charge, how we pay, and that's something that's in the process of changing now. So every year, check in and see what were we still doing from a year ago that could be done better.
So important.
And make sure you're changing. So lesson number 7, the business can only grow as much as the owner grows. 100%. I feel like it's tied to you. It's like an extension of you. So if you're not confident, the business comes across that way. If you don't set boundaries, the business is going to have problems. If you don't lead by example, if you don't provide the right leadership, your business is going to crumble, and it's going to show there. If you avoid difficult conversations because they're uncomfortable, the business is going to have limitations, have more flaws, have more fires. If you don't know your own self-worth, you're not going to know the worth of the business. You're not going to be able to charge the right price and consistently. You're not going to be able to pitch your services the right way because you don't have the self-worth. So all of the work that you do on yourself, even if it feels like it's a personal thing that you're working on, everything is going to reflect back on your business.
Yeah.
And sometimes the other way around. Sometimes you're not working on it, and the business puts this spotlight on it. Like, you need to fix this. And now this is internal work you need to do personally so that it can improve in the business.
Yeah, I agree. I think when I came on board, so I was director for the company that I worked for, and I had a team. It was a smaller team, but I had a team, and I was good at delegating work. I was good at listening to them and letting them have ideas and bringing those to fruition. But I was still in the weeds too. I still did a lot with them, and I still did a lot of the work. And I think one of the things that I learned coming into Powerhouse, I didn't know this industry. I didn't know I didn't know how to be an entrepreneur, and I didn't know, the type of businesses that we dealt with. I came from healthcare, and I was like, I don't know anything about what we're doing. And I got so stuck in my head for a long time on, I need to know everything. And if I don't know everything, how am I going to lead these people, and how am I going to help them grow if I don't know everything that they're doing on a day-to-day? And I think that held me back a lot in the beginning, because I was like so stuck on, I need to know these things, but then how do I learn these things when I'm so busy and there's things going on and I can't meet with every team, and I can't meet with every team every 5 minutes, and I have to meet with Cathy and we have to go over strategy, and how am I doing strategy if I didn't meet with the team? And it was just so mind-boggling, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to learn any of this. I'm going to be stuck forever. So I think part of my growth was just realizing that my job is to lead and to help them bring their ideas and help them be creative and help them get to where they need to go and help my team, but not necessarily be in the day-to-day and know every single thing that they're doing. And I think that was a huge lesson for me, that, where we're going is me leading them and not doing, being in the weeds with them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think you could create like a structure, because usually you'll need to learn the industry.
Yes.
But I feel like when you get to a new industry and you were already super confident and comfortable, you feel like you want to get to this end level.
Yeah, I wanted to be already, I wanted to be excelled at all things.
Yeah.
Right from the start. And it was really hard.
Yeah. And that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a really good leader, even if you know zero about where you are going, you're still going to add value. And then give yourself the time, a little bit each time as you're working with them, to learn what they're doing, little by little. But that's going to enhance what you're already doing, knowing and trusting that you're already adding value from the beginning.
Yes.
That happens with our leaders too sometimes. Like, we'll have a new leader who is now going to manage an admin who's been doing that work for 2 years. And there's a little bit of that confidence piece where they feel like they don't even know all the things that the admin is doing yet. Yeah. And they don't feel comfortable.
And then they worry that the admin's going to be like, what are you doing here? I know more than you. And then that's going to be an issue. But they realize after some coaching and understanding that the admin is usually happy to have them, because they're helping them figure out new ways to do something that they've been doing for 2 years.
Yes. The leader views things differently.
Yes.
So you're just going, and also you know how to manage personalities, you know how to manage moods. Yeah. Like, you're going to be able to add value. And if you do right away in these other ways, you're going to build the trust of the person you're managing, and then you can grow together. And over time, the leaders have learned everything that the admin does. But along that way, they've enhanced what they do, improved the processes, connected with them, and so much. Every new level of business requires a new level of you.
Yes.
And this is something I think about a lot. It lives in my head a lot. And they say that the person that, for example, the person that built this business is already not the person I am today. And it's not the same person that will have run this business when we are multi-million-dollar company. I have to be a different version to be able to manage that well. So my question for you is, who would you need to become for your business to double next year?
I feel like I need to become someone who continues to gain confidence in knowing that I'm not going to know all of the things, but still knowing that I bring a lot to the table in what I've learned from years of business and working and leading, and to continue to be able to grow people and grow their leadership skills and just be confident in myself in, what I am and who I am and what I know.
For me, I feel like I need to get to a level slowly, little by little, where I am not connected to client work at all. And I manage the finances and the strategy and the direction of the company. Leadership could still be maybe the leadership training is something I could still manage, and just the AI integration, getting new clients, networking. I need to get to that level to really be able to grow the business more, which is so hard because we're not there now, but it's still hard to disconnect. So when I started the business, the work is my work.
Yeah.
Even if an admin is doing it, I was so in it that like the quality of the work I know is good. Like they run it by me, I check it off. Like the clients trust that I come involved with the process, and I do. So getting to a point where like I'm not needed and the level of the work and the quality is like now replicatable, like automated, like we have all the process and the systems and the education for it, that would be my goal. And then the confidence and self-worth needs to, like obviously today is so much more than 3.5 years ago, but it needs to be way higher to get into bigger rooms.
Yeah.
And grow this business to where I would like to.
I love that. I think that's so important. So if we could go back and give ourselves one piece of advice on day one of Powerhouse, what would it be?
For me, it would be that I have everything that I need already to handle whatever comes at me, and to trust that I will be able to handle it and move forward. And a little story for me really quick, but I never started a business. I had all these ideas since I was like in high school, and every time I'd research the hell out of them. Sometimes I'd register them, and then I'd like talk myself out of them. And then when this one started, I actually didn't register it because I thought I always register the business and then it's not a business.
She did register a lot of business. She would tell me like, I have a candle business. I have this business. I'm like, what do you mean you registered your candle business? You don't even make candles.
I had all the products to make the candles, but I never made them. But I always thought like I need to lock in the name. But with this one, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to wing it and see, because maybe it's nothing. So I didn't register it, but very early on, the first admin was doing another job at the same time. And I gave them the option of switching schedules, and the client would have been okay with it, or this, you can't be here, but you can't work another job at the same hours that I'm paying you to do this job. And the girl chose to quit. And at that time I thought, this is like, I feel like so early, maybe less than 3 months. And I thought, this is too hard. And it felt like personal, like somebody's cheating on you personally. And I thought, this is too hard. I don't think I can do this. Maybe I'm just not set out for business. And maybe I should just like quit while I'm ahead and just stop it right there. And then I think the same day or next day, I thought, no, like this is what business is supposed to be like. I'm supposed to have problems and I'm supposed to solve them. But even then, I didn't imagine all the problems and solutions we've had.
Yeah.
So that would be my thing. Like whatever comes at us, we can handle. And now going forward, same thing. Like even if there's bigger things, we will handle them and we'll be okay.
I like that. Mine would be just to trust myself more. I think I struggled so much because of the industry and the change that I didn't trust myself enough to truly dive in and feel like I could fly. And I would just tell myself now, like, even you change and you evolve, and I think that, you grow so much with each new experience. And the person that I was when I first came on board is so different than the person I was when I started this year, which is so different than the person I am right now. And at the moment that you jump in, you don't realize that. You're just like, oh my God, deer in headlights. What am I doing? Was this the good decision or a bad decision? Am I going to fail? And, there's so many thoughts in your head, and just knowing that it's going to be okay. Trust yourself. It's going to be okay.
Yes.
So building a business was never just about building the business, right? It's about becoming people who are capable of leading it. And little by little,
as your business grows, you have to grow too. So
yeah, little by little.
There's never an end point.
Yeah.
So I hope this episode was helpful. If you own a business or you're thinking of starting one, learn from our mistakes, implement them early. We wish you the best in your businesses. Yes. And on our next episode, we're going to be talking about protecting your energy in life and at work. So thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our podcast. And as always, your life, your rules, stay limitless.